Hey guys, so welcome to part 2 of the user authentication tutorial. So we just finished making the login part of the user authentication system, and as we saw in the previous video it works with Parse, and now it's time to create the sign up part. So in the last video we went over how to create this sign up view controller right here. So now we need to add the code behind it, and we need to add one more view controller where the user will add additional info just after signing up. So first off, let's create a new file, and we will call this sign up view controller, just like that. And make sure it's UI view controller is right here. So we'll place that into the project directory, and then we'll go to our storyboard and we'll make sure we set the class of this view controller equal to sign up view controller. Cool, so now let's make some referencing outlets. So we'll go to sign up view controller and we'll call this one username, and then we'll have this one called first name, and this one will be last name, then password, then confirm password, and then last but not least we'll have email. And let's make sure that, just like we did in the last video, password and confirm password are secure text entry fields, which they are. Cool. So next thing we want to do is, just in terms of design, a lot of the times these days text fields are a little they're a little taller, they're a little more wide, and in this case, it's hard to modify these through Interface Builder right here, because as you'll see, it doesn't let me change the height for them. So there's a quick hack for that. It can be done programmatically. Easier way to do it is just to go into the source code. So open the storyboard as source code, and in this source code we can just change the heights to whatever we want. And it's a little hard to find these, and be careful wherever you're changing the heights. So now that we've created referencing outlets for them, it's a little easier to find. So we'll see, for example, when we do Command F on username, then we can see right here that the width is set to 280, which is what we did earlier, and the height is 30 right here, which is, it's not letting us change in Interface Builder. So we'll change that right here, and we'll make it 40 instead. And we had username two places, so here we'll find another one. And then on the login view controller we had password. So password's right here, so we'll make this 40 as well. And we should have another password field from the sign up view controller, and we'll set that to 40. And then on the sign up view controller we also had the first name field, so let's search for that, and that's right here. And so we're not being able to find that, but let's search for some other stuff. Let's search for confirm password. Oh, my bad. So confirm password is right here. This is not going by what you create in the referencing outlet. It's by the placeholder text is what we're finding right here. So the placeholder text for first name, and we can set that to 40, and we can do the same thing for last name, and we can set that to 40, and we can do the same thing for confirm password and set that to 40, and then we have email, and we'll set that to 40. Cool, so let's save this, and then let's reopen Storyboard in Interface Builder, and you'll see that the text fields are a little larger. And this looks a little bit too large maybe, so we can go back and change them to a little to be around maybe 37 or something like that. But that's just extra time for the demo, so we won't do that right here. Feel free to find the right height for your app though. Okay, so next thing that we're going to do is add some more code to the signup view controller. So now that we have these referencing outlets, let's go ahead and use them. First things first, just like we had in the login view controller, if the user didn't enter enough information, then we had an alert pop up that displayed the correct information. Hey, you didn't fill out a username or a password or something like that. So we want to have that same thing for the signup view controller. And in order to do that, we can just use the function we wrote earlier. So we can take the func display alert right here, we can copy it, and we can paste it into the signup view controller. And next thing that we can do is we can check for that display error if the user presses the continue button. So we need to make a referencing outlet for that still. So let's go to the storyboard right here, and we can drag and drop, or we can drag from this continue button, and we'll set it to action connection, and we'll just say continue sign up. And cool. So here's the function that will be called when this is pressed. So in here we can write pretty similar code to how we did in the login view controller, and we can just set the display error right here, and so we can say if the username is so we'll write this a little differently than we did last time. We'll just start off with the first condition being, hey, if the username.text is equal to nil, then we'll have this. Otherwise, if password.text is equal to nil, then we'll set the display error to this. And accordingly, you can customize yours to be however sophisticated you want. But at the very minimum, just for this tutorial's purpose, let's add in the other fields to look like this. So we can say else if first name dot text equals this, then we'll set the display error to first name. Please enter first name, and accordingly we can set some more. So we want one for last name, we want one for confirm password, and we want one for email. So we have first name, and we can do last name right here. And over here we will have confirm password.text. Please confirm your password, and email. Please enter an email. Now this isn't the most sophisticated model to do this. What you guys would probably want to do is something more like, because for example in this model it's only checking that, hey, it's basically setting the error message that you displayed. Hey, if the username text field is missing, then please enter a username. If the password text field is missing, then please enter a password. But what if both are missing, or three of these are missing, or something like that? But you guys know some CS, so you should be able to figure out how you want to set the display error properly. And just to give you sort of a glimpse of how you could do this, I'll give you some code that I have previously written, so you can get an idea of how you want to do this. So we can set instead of doing it this way, we can set the display error like this to make it a little more sophisticated. So we can set the display error to please enter and then we can append to it each time we find an error. So cool, but I'll let you guys write that yourselves. I won't give you that much. So next thing that we want to do is see if the display error is nil. So just like last time with how we did it with the login view controller, if the display error is, sorry, not nil, if it's the empty string, then in that case we want, or sorry, if it's not the empty string, then we want to display an alert with the error message, and we do not want to continue signing up the user. And the title for the error message will be incomplete form, and the display error will be just the display error that we've set here. And if the display error is the empty string, then we want to go ahead and we want to continue logging in or signing in the user, signing up the user. So in order to do that, we still have some more fields that we want entered and stored in our database. So let's make another view controller where the user can add some more information for us. And we already have this view controller right here, so why not use this one? And similarly from before, we will take an image view and we'll drag it in here. Actually, maybe let's not add this image view in the background. Let's make it look a little different. And why don't we add some buttons? So first, let's say we want to figure out the user's gender as well. So let's take a button and drag it here, and we can duplicate that. And we can call this button male. So if the user is male, they'll click that. Otherwise, they'll select female. And for both of these, let's increase the font size a little. And let's make them a little bigger so they show. And let's change the color of these to orange, or tangerine in this case. And let's make them a little bigger actually. That looks good. So let's move them to get them aligned a little nicely. That looks nice. And we'll make them just a little bit bigger actually. Maybe that's good. Okay. So next thing we want to do is add some more fields that the user can enter information into. So let's say we want the user's birthday as well. So we'll add a text entry for birthday, and for the placeholder text we'll do month, day, year. So just like that. And we'll make it a little bigger. And we will add a label. And we'll call it birthday, so the user can enter their birthday right there. And we'll align it just like that. And let's push it to the margins there. And next thing, let's make this a little bigger as well. And now we also want to get the user's profile picture, so let's make a button for that. And for the button, let's make the background this nice color right here. And we'll make the text white. And we'll make the button a little larger. And the button's text will be choose profile picture. And we'll make the button a little bigger. Okay, so Now let's add an image view right here. And this can be where we display the user's profile picture once they've selected it. Cool, and once all that is done, the user can continue and press sign up, but let's move all this a little higher on the screen, and we'll add a button that says sign up. So this will complete their entire sign up process. So okay, so now we can drag over all these elements and we can just add in some automatic constraints. So once the user has entered all of these fields, they can add some more information and you can store this in Parse. And we will go over how to add the code in the backend. Or how to add the code in our signup_view_controller.swift file in order to store all this in the Parse backend in the next part of this tutorial. So stay tuned.